Tell us a little bit about, before you get into some of the real positives, you obviously found this out Friday night, and I would just bet it just floored you, just dropped dead shocked to find out this news.
Yeah, I actually had a text from one of my teammates from Gabby who had played with him for years in Minnesota, and he was pretty down, and I'd asked him what was going on, and he told me that Boogie, one of our amazing teammates and a good friend of mine, and the whole team, was found by his brother in his apartment. And it was pretty shocking news, and obviously you don't expect that, especially at the young age of 28. So it was pretty shocking, and even to this day, it really hasn't hit me yet. And it was kind of a weird situation the other day when I'd found out. I texted him almost like he was still around and kind of wanted my thoughts with him, and it was just a shock to all of us.
Well, Michael, you put something in your Twitter message basically saying you miss the guy so much. And I think what you said is echoed around the NHL. He was a down-to-earth, laid-back guy, an amazing friend, and that's a universal sentiment for Derek Boogaard.
Yeah, you see this huge monster on the ice, and one of the best at his job and intimidating other teams. And I know for me, playing on the ice, I felt a lot safer when he was out there with me. But off the ice, he was so laid back, such a good teammate, such a good friend, and always there for you whenever you needed something. And I had a tough year this year, and he was always there for me. Anytime I needed to talk or vent or anything like that, he was always there for me and always around anytime I needed anything.
Michael Del Zotto, our guest from the New York Rangers, and so frustrating, and it's so maddening because all you want is answers right now. I was doing play-by-play in the OHL, Michael, the year Mickey Renaud died, and I saw him the day before in Owen Sound in the hotel, saw him ride the bus back, and you find out the next day he's gone. And I know you actually would have had teammates on that Oshawa team that had played with him there, and it's just all you want to do is find out what happened, and yet you're stuck with all the grief and all the angst at the same time to try and figure out why this would happen.
Exactly, and like I said before, he's only 28 years old, and someone passing at such a young age really puts a perspective on life. As I said before, such a good human being off the ice, and it really hurts to see someone like that go.
Now, you bounced around between the Rangers and the AHL affiliate in Hartford and Connecticut this year, Michael. It's one thing for the coaches and management to talk to, but did it mean more when a guy like Derek, a guy that had been there to kind of counsel you through what has been a bit of a tough year for you?
Yeah, and especially for him to take interest in me while he was going through a tough time with his injuries after he had gotten a fight with Karkner in Ottawa, I believe it was in December. And, he was going through a really tough time trying to get back in the lineup and just trying to get healthy. And he took time out of his busy schedule and everything that he had going on with him to call me and send me a few texts and see how I was doing and make sure everything was okay. And for a guy like that to do that when he's got so much going on in his own life, it really shows the character he has and the type of person he is. Had
you been able to see him much after? He was around the team, it sounded like, but obviously you guys are traveling and there's responsibilities and there's duties. So you didn't see as much of him after he was injured.
No, well, he was going through a tough time when he was injured, and it was a pretty serious injury. But a couple months in, we were going out to dinner together and trying to get him out just to get away from things because he had gone through a tough time where he was basically stuck in his apartment for a while and really not doing too much. So we tried bringing him out, getting his spirits up, and he was just a fun guy to be around. And as I said before, always laid back, always joking around, and just a pleasure to have as a friend and such a good human being.
Michael, as sad as this news is, does it make you even, some part of you, more determined and more dedicated in the offseason to be well and play well just in honor of his memory?
Absolutely, and I think as a team as a whole is going to be that much more determined next season and kind of put that season towards Derek and the things that he brought because, he was such a great teammate and how hard he worked off the ice trying to work on his game and trying to become a better player. It really stood out as soon as I got there, and to see how hard he worked on the ice and off the ice in the gym and getting in better shape. I think the whole team's going to be that much more determined next season.
Michael Del Zotto, our guest from the New York Rangers, joining us. How do you feel with regard to this team's future and your future per se? As Jim mentioned, you played some games in Connecticut this year. This happens. It's Kyle Turris goes down, Josh Bailey goes down. There are first round elite can't miss players that it's been good to spend time in the AHL. How was your experience down there, and what will that do for you next year in a full season back with the Rangers?
Well, it was great at first, and obviously there's so much pressure, and especially in New York with the media there, and the fans are pretty tough on you. But it's a wonderful place to play. sometimes it really takes a toll on you. For me to go down and just get the pressure off me and just to get back to having fun and really enjoying the game and kind of playing my game and play all situation and all minutes and get my confidence back. That was big for me. And unfortunately, at the deadline, when I got sent down again, I broke my finger, and that kind of put that kind of ended my season there. But just to watch and even from the press box, I really learned a lot about the game.
Michael, I know you take your off-season conditioning very seriously. Are you still working with Gary Roberts in the off-season?
Yeah, well, right now I'm still injured trying to get back. I had sports hernia surgery about a week and a half ago, and I'm still trying to heal my finger. So I'm just worrying about getting healthy now and then